guys. Thank you guys for coming in to see me today. I know this is our second session, and during the first one, we talked a little bit about consent. So, whatever you guys want to say here is confidential, and let's just try to be like respectful of each other. And yeah, so what brings you guys in today?
Well, I think our biggest problem is kind of splitting the responsibilities of the house and feeling like one of us has to do one of the chores of the house, and that can sometimes become difficult, especially when one person works more than the other.
Okay. And how do you feel about that, JC?
I feel like he needs to work a little harder so he doesn't have to work as many hours. And just because he works multiple jobs doesn't mean that I have to take that extra time and do the dishes and constantly clean up after him.
Okay. And how do you feel about what JC just
said? Well, the way sometimes I feel is that it's not necessarily that I want to work the 12 hours, but I felt like I took on the 12 hours to kind of bring more into the house. So the time that I do have, sometimes when I arrive at the house, I help out with what I can. And sometimes I'm cleaning, and sometimes to the point where I'm only getting about 5 hours of sleep. And that could be very frustrating sometimes when I see the same one dish in the sink.
Okay. And so what I'm kind of hearing right now is David works 12-hour days. And you work a 9-to-5 job.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you take on a little bit more responsibilities around the house because David works 12-hour shifts.
Mm-hmm.
And this is like an issue right now.
It can be an issue, and I feel like sometimes some days are kind of more difficult than the others, especially when our jobs ask of us more, especially more mentally. It can be very draining, and I feel sometimes that I don't mean to be frustrated with her or speak in a certain way, but I can't help it sometimes coming home where I don't have no one to like talk to about my situation.
Is it okay? Why don't you have anybody to talk to about?
Well, I do have.
Is it because JC's already sleeping?
No, I feel like I do have JC, but sometimes when I come home and I don't want to bring up the negativity that I faced at work sometimes, and probably I should, but it's just the fact that I don't come home in a good mood, and by that time, things at the house are pretty bad because we're both upset at each other because of the responsibility.
So because your job is really demanding mentally, sometimes you already come out of work kind of like frustrated or like mentally drained, and then when you come here, it's already like you're not in like the best mood because of your job working 12 hours and more demanding.
Well, I can speak for myself that in that situation, yeah. But the times that I've spoken to JC, she kind of goes through the same situation I go through.
At work, is that how you feel too?
Oh, yeah, it's an exhausting job. Yeah, Yeah, it's exhausting. It's hard. So last thing I want to do is clean up after somebody else and myself, and then and especially if somebody's demanding it out of me, I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'd rather not.
Yeah. So, how do you feel when he's like demanding for you to clean up after that?
Super annoyed and underappreciated, and I hate feeling tested. I hate it. I don't understand. Like, I'm a grown woman. I have my own things to do. Like, I don't know. I understand we're a team, but like, don't force me to take care of you.
Okay. So, have you guys tried to like work on this issue already before?
I think we have tried to work on this issue multiple times before, but it just gets very difficult in the point that speaking for myself, that I can agree on something to continue it and actually make progression. But it kind of gets frustrating when I see kind of what the things that I've done, and then I see it done by my partner, and then it's kind of like blown off. So I guess I'm getting mad at the fact that she had got mad at me for telling me not to do something, and she does it. And it just slides. Sometimes I don't feel like that's fair.
So sometimes there's just like already like an emotional tension, and then it just like builds up.
Yeah.
Instead, okay. What do you guys do in that situation? Like when you guys are frustrated. Like let's say, what is your regular day after coming home from work, and let's say you guys are already like kind of frustrated about that issue. Like what does it look like from there? Like.
JC, how does it look like?
It depends. It depends what kind of day I had at work. So if it's like a great day, it's like, okay, fine, I'll do this dishes. But if it's like I've already had like enough around me, like I'm either sleeping by the time he gets home, so I don't have to like deal with him, or it can get bad. We'll start arguing sometimes. Yeah.
It just depends on the situation. It gets really bad when she doesn't have her son, and then to me it kind of feels like she gets out early, and sometimes I understand that I think this is where she kind of feels like I'm forcing her to, but I just feel that if she wants to do something that's out of the responsibilities of the house, because I feel that we're a team, I feel that since it is stressing her out and it's creating a problem for us, that she should at least handle some of the situation that's going on at home, because I feel what goes on at home is both of us, not just one. But I think when sometimes I want to go to the gym and kind of avoid the argument, and I want to kind of like work out my frustration I have from work. So if I do work out, I want to come home kind of in a different mindset, and I'm better able to speak to her or deal with the situation rather than being totally frustrated to super frustrated.
Mm-hmm. What do you guys do anything to like let go of that frustration, like besides maybe going to the gym?
Shopping.
And I think that's one of my issues, that I feel like she shouldn't be shopping. I feel like that's like a very.
Why do you feel that she shouldn't go shopping?
Because I feel like in a way, sometimes shopping's not necessarily like the key, like a good way to really release your stress. I feel like that's kind of like a bad habit of shopping when you're stressed. That I don't know. I just believe like in physical fitness, so that should be a way to release your stress, because it kind of releases the frustration and also like boosts up like how you feel.
Yeah. Okay. So have you guys ever? Okay, so from now on, instead of saying like, oh, like you do this or you do that, can you guys tell each other like how you feel, like using I statements? Like I feel this way. Like can you guys tell each other like face to face? Like JC, you can go first. Like I feel, like frustrated whenever you do blank or whatever.
Yeah. I feel frustrated when you tell me I need to come home after work when I work really hard on my time that I finally have to myself, and I feel like it's unfair that you want me to just come straight home and clean up our mess. So I just don't feel it's fair.
I feel like you misinterpret me when I say that we need to take care of our responsibilities at home first. I just believe that if one day I'm being pestered or spoken to or being confronted about a situation at home, that I don't want to come home and see the same situation not being taken care of, when especially it has to do, oh man, it has to do with, can I say our relationship?
Yeah.
Yeah, with our relationship. If if I was able to avoid, if I was able to help out our relationship by doing something, I would voluntarily do it without question. I wouldn't, take offense toward it. Like, oh, this is not my issue. This is not my problem. This is not my mess. I would just believe that if it would make our relationship less stress or better, I would take responsibility in doing it gladly. And I would just like to feel that from my partner.
Okay. So, would you guys be like willing to work on this issue? Like, I know you said you have tried to already, but you guys are pretty open about what the issue is, and like that was really good communication skills right there. So, are you guys willing to work a little bit more on maybe like, just because I feel like when you have communication skills like that, she's letting you know what she feels, you're letting her know what you feel, and that way it creates like a better way to work on things. Have you guys ever like what does your family look like, JC? Like, what do you have both of your biological parents?
Like they exist, but like I was raised by my grandma.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah,
not too close to them.
No.
Okay. And you did?
Well, I came from a family where I have two parents, and I basically where my family comes from culturally is like everybody takes responsibility. There's not an assigned specific job to a family member. It's everybody does how do you say it? Everybody does the best for each other.
I can see that. Do you talk to your family members a lot?
Yeah, every day. I have a close relationship with them.
You have a close relationship with your grandma too, JC?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you guys talk to your family members about the issues that go on here? Or?
To an extent. I don't tell them everything because I don't want them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want them to look poorly at David.
Yeah.
So I only tell them bits and pieces, but they can hear it in my tones. Mm-hmm. Even when I'm talking about other things, they know that I'm bothered about something in the house.
Yeah.
Rarely. If I tell my parents in some situation, it's because it's getting to the point that probably I don't know how to handle it, but I don't like my parents seeing my partner in a different way.
Do you guys talk to anybody else about like the problems?
I try to talk to my sisters and my cousin, but all my cousins and sisters are female, so they like kind of attack me.
Do they like get JC's side, like how she feels?
Yeah, naturally.
Than...
I feel like they always assume that my partner is right.
What about you, JC? Do you have anyone that you can talk to?
Yeah, I talk to my friends a little bit. I don't talk to them too much about it. Say my coworkers know like hypotheticals, and they give me a lot of like pointers. Like they don't know who I'm talking about or what's going on, but they definitely give me like certain pointers. And sometimes they're like, "All right, JC, stop being dramatic." And then sometimes, sometimes they're like, "All right, JC, calm down. You're young. It's okay." And then sometimes they're like, "All right, well, if that's not what you want, then go get what you want. Don't waste your time."
Yeah.
So they go back and forth.
Well, I just want to say, thank you guys so much for coming in. I really appreciate you guys being here. And like I said, you guys have pretty good communication skills already. So I think it would just be like a little bit more working on like the goal of the session, which is just trying to figure out a little bit more ways of dealing with those rules in the household, and maybe coming up with ways that we can share them a little bit better, and then figuring out David's schedule and just the whole household chores in general. So thank you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Wow.